everyone, this is Neil King from Random Acts of Cartooning. This episode, I'm going to draw a creation from Dr. Seuss. But first, okay, everybody. So, our influence for this episode is The Secret Art of Dr. Seuss. Very appropriate. So, the thing that I found out about this book when I got it, because everybody has at least one Dr. Seuss book in their house. The thing that I felt about this one was how much in common that I feel like I have with Dr. Seuss and the way that he renders. Like these are just some different types of pieces that he would have painted. He's always working, had a long career, all kinds of different stuff. But when I look at it, I really love this feeling. I mean, these have just like this Japanese or Asian, even Chinese landscape feel, like when you're doing watercolors like this. But it's also kind of from a time, like his style, definitely when he was doing his own things. I'm trying to make this as good as I can here. That the softness of all these watercolors really gives a different expressionistic feel to his work. And he's bringing in all kinds of different things, Escher and Dali and all the different things that probably were around while he was there. And this is 1927, this image. So imagine someone like this. We are so used to seeing his work. But when you see it in this context, you get a much different feel for it. I'm trying to get this as good as I can here. But I love all of his work, and these are kind of more to me like magazine type of images. He easily could have done this. Well, Ralph Steadman looking here, right? So I'm a big fan, obviously, and everyone is. But of his time, like there was a lot going on, and he was probably a big art lover. So these are kind of his, expressionist feelings, especially the way he uses his color. I get a lot of German expressionist look in here, or Fauvism. Love all of his work. Big influence on me. I'm sure I'll pull out another one of an actual book eventually. But this is a great book to get if you want to read a little bit about it. The great Dr. Seuss. Okay, let's get to work. So I'm going to draw the Grinch. So it's that season of the year. So I'm just starting off with my big shapes as usual. I've sped this video up a couple times, so I'm not actually drawing like a lunatic. But so what I usually do, because I can consider this a convention style sketch, is I get all my shapes in. I'm trying to get a nice movement, rotate the body a little bit, making sure he's balanced, seeing if my proportions are okay, just making sure that the main stuff is in there, so that when you eventually, or when I will eventually go in with my inks, I feel like the architecture's there, and all just little bits of stuff I can add to as I go through. But at this stage, I'm just trying to get a little bit of a likeness. I know how he looks. So I'm just kind of making my way through with shapes. Okay, everyone, as you know, I am a working cartoonist, so we are talking about the holidays right now. So don't forget to go to my Amazon site, where you'll see some of my different types of books that I have. Strange Tales for Boys and Girls, that's an all ages book. Snowman in the Springtime, all ages. Three Little Pigs in a Blanket. These are all things that all kinds of kids would like. Limited color. This is a series that I did. The Deep End. Spaghetti Eddie with the meatball eyes. and my parents are ninjas. That's kind of a 3 tandem thing that I had done. Also, I have more educational types of books. Who Stole All the Heads at the Met? Fun book. All kinds of art history. Then I have some more of my adult books. These were online books that I compiled as graphic novels. Kill Me or Die, Abby in Hell, and Forbidden Planet. Different format, black and white interiors, lots of fun. And then my most recent, Shock, Let There Be Fright. Again, all the things that I'm doing, all my episodes, everything I'm doing here and all of my things, it's really about getting my books. So support me in the holidays and get to friends or someone in your family some of these books. Thanks. Okay, so it's on to inking. Again, I have this sped up twice as fast. So I'm using my fountain pen that has water-resistant ink in it. So I use it all the time now. It has become my favorite for detail work, and I feel like it's really helped me because I don't really love using the fine line markers for detail for most illustration. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the surface of the paper. So the pen is so much better, and I find that it's really helped a bunch of stuff that I'm doing, especially for convention sketches, like something that I really want to be able to put a certain amount of detail in, and I don't want to have to use those markers. So with this pen that I'm using, I'm just getting in there and making sure all the simple details in there. I'm going to go up 2 different types. I have a thicker brush pen than this one that I'm working on, and especially with the Grinch character, I'm not so worried about the very fine details. So a lot of it's just going to be big details. So here I am on my next size. This is not the biggest size of marker or brush marker that I have, but this one's really nice. It's another Pentel, I think it's called like a sign brush or something. But I've had it now for a few months and I really like it. I've tried a few different types of brush pens and there aren't that many that I really love, but I think this one's pretty good. I really like it. And especially using my true Pentel brush pen, pocket brush, which is my favorite brush because of the dry brush opportunities you get. So with this, I'm just going in, getting some semi-detail for this. The Grinch has a big bag on his back. So I'm going in there trying to get some of the detail that I want. I'm going to go right over some of this also with the bigger brush pen. But a little detail, fingers, all that kind of stuff can't be. I can do it with my brush pen, but I think this one's way better for this kind of intermediate line that I'm trying to produce. So as I would usually do, I'll move in with the thicker pen. And you can see this is when I'm really kind of moving. I'm just going to go in and get that feel of the thick and thin line. I get a nice little dry brush feel on that line. And this is where I'm most comfortable. I'm moving through, adding a few details. But the good thing about this type of an image, when you do something like this, because I've got his face, I think it basically looks like the Grinch. I think I've got a certain likeness to the character. Now I'm just going to go, really make it my own and just show him, in a different situation. So I just kind of lay in all the super dark areas. And then again, with the presence that he's walking around, I'm just going to put some simple lines so that they'll read as presence. Try to get a nice roundness, a little foreshortening. Those are some pretty good Kirby looking knees there. And again, it's kind of like architecture. I'm just kind of back there. I want to make sure that eventually when I go for the color part that it's all going to be there. I'm pretty close. And again, just taking a look at it. Where else do I need it? Right? And that's probably there. Now what I do before I go into my, my color is you can still see some pencil line there. So before I just kind of started my color, I'll go in with a kneaded eraser and I'll erase away all of those lines. And you can see there aren't that many, but they are definitely there. So here I am again. Now it's time for some color. Now the way I like to work is I want to try and get a lighter version of the green. So I'll put a yellow down first. His eyes are yellow. I feel like his teeth are yellow. And then I go in with that green. And when you go on top of the yellow, it's eventually going to be a green, but a really light green. And I think it gives a little variety when you start that light. So I'm going to add to it. Now I decided, because it is a Christmas type of an image, is that I would keep this as a 2-color piece. I'm not even going to introduce anything else. So it's green and reds. So I'm pretty much making him almost a monochromatic image with the green. I'll even go into some areas on the hat, on the shirt, I guess you would call it, a little green just to kind of build it. Because again, when you're using those complementary colors on top of each other, you can use that for a lot of the shadows. And it does have a really nice, to mix 2 colors like that, you get you'll get the shadowy version of either one when you do it. Sometimes it's nice to see them right on top of each other, but at this point, all I'm trying to do is get all the greens and get a variety of darks, mediums, and lights of the greens before I go in with those reds. And before I go in with the darker values to really bump this up and make it a little scarier looking. So yeah, he's definitely kind of coming around. I like how his teeth turned out. I like that on his snout, I guess you would say. I like that that's lighter. So he's kind of getting there. And I'm gonna now come in with that red. And complementary colors, you put them next to each other, can't help it, but it works, right? That's what it's all about. You realize when you see these colors and how nice they work. So it's almost a light pink that I start off with and then just start building. But as you can see, I'm very impressionistic type of a style. So I'm just laying that red right on top of some of the greens. And you can see what happens when you use those 2 complements on top of each other. Going around to his face, adding some more red. I definitely feel like with an image like this, because it's limited color, you get some nice atmosphere by using just 2 colors. I use limited color way more than I do full color. I think full color is great and it works for so many things, but for myself, I love the mood that happens when you're using something like this as a complementary piece. Or I could have gone all red with this or all green with this and it would have worked. But I think these are the colors. These are what you got to do. So I'm going in there and now I'm really getting my darkest values of all the colors. So I don't use this kind of a thing if it's just like a cuter version of the Grinch, if there's such a thing, where this really gives him an edge, these deep darks. So as I make my way through, you'll see all my plan is to have him jump out a little bit more. So that background is all about establishing him in front of and amongst these presents. You want to make it feel like he's there. And then for the presents, you don't want to overdo them because then your eye goes to them. So he's the one who has light, medium, and dark areas, where the background and the midground doesn't have as much of a range. Get that black back there because, again, this is going to pull him forward into the focus of the viewer. So you're seeing him. And again, you get a nice sense of a background. I kept it all just red because he's so green. The bag is green. He's green. I thought the background should just be kind of a red. And again, I'm kind of getting there. You can see everything that I'm adding is getting him a little more finished looking and a little bit more that I can see that it doesn't need that much more. So I'm kind of leaving those presents alone in most regards. The line in themselves is the biggest thing with this. Just trying to go in. Almost every time when I do stuff like this, I go back in and I'm just like, I'm squinting my eyes. Can I see the light, medium, and darks? Am I happy with how this sketch went? I always say about the timing, this probably took me a total of about 15 minutes to 20 minutes really to do. Big image like this, not so much detail, not hard to kind of kick out. So I'm kind of getting to the end of this piece, just doing some dry brush on top, little finishes. And then eventually I'm just going to go in with a marker and just fix some of the outlined parts, just a little thicker on some parts around that mouth, the hat, the eyebrows, all that stuff, just to kind of give it a little more of a feel that it's really done. But that's probably it. So thanks for watching, and like and subscribe. It's that holiday season. I'd like to do a few more holiday season sketches. Maybe get myself outside and draw some different things. So again, thanks a lot, and see you soon.